Live from Lagos, Nigeria's commercial capital, this is Lunchtime Politics, where we unpack some of the biggest stories of the hours. We also get to discuss issues of national interest. I am Kelly Egiga. Well, this hour we get to talk defections on the program. Well, that locally is known as a cross-carpeting or party switching, and defines or perhaps features Nigeria's political landscape largely, especially since 1999. It's a practice, a common practice we've seen in this part of the continent. For some, the argument is that it is largely driven by the pursuit of power rather than ideology. So that's our focus on the program this hour, because the latest defection is that of the governor of Kano State, Abba Yusuf, who has only just joined the All Progressives Congress. We take a look at this defection again this hour, getting more insight and analysis on the program for you. I get to see what perhaps if this is a betrayal of public trust, or perhaps this will define just how the 2027 elections will also get to play out. But let's bring you up to speed with news just in at the headquarters of the Federal Capital Territory. It appears activities have, in fact, resumed. The workers are seen trickling in. A high presence of security operatives can be seen parked just right across the gates of the Secretariat. These are images just in you're looking at now. This follows the ruling by the National Industrial Court ordering the FCTA workers to suspend their strike. The Joint Union Action Committee had earlier accused the FCTA of breaching agreements and unpaid wages and allowances, among other demands. Well, the FCTA administration, led by the minister, UNYC, had earlier said his administration had met a reasonable amount of their demands. However, it is unclear whether the FCT workers will fully sustain this momentum to resume work, or they retract on the court ruling. In the meantime, the leadership of the Nigeria Labour Congress, NLC, has sent a solidarity message to the striking workers of the Federal Capital Territory, who have only just resumed moments ago, whom the Industrial Court ordered to suspend their actions, describing the ruling as surprising and distasteful. A statement by the acting General Secretary of the NLC, Mr. Benson Upa, is urging the workers not to allow their hearts to be broken, and also faulting the courts for failing to look into the allegations brought forward by the workers, including allegations of non-remittance of National Housing Fund and pensions deductions. The statement further puts on notice organizations and individuals violating the provisions of the Pension Fund Act and National Housing Fund Act for serious engagement with the NLC. All right, so let's get to talk. This big story now, the defection of Governor Abba Yusuf of Kano, which has got the city of Kano buzzing, as well as other Nigerians. Residents have been reacting to the movement of the governor from the new Nigeria People's Party to the All Progressives Congress. Our correspondent, Nanchin Vincent, hit the streets to feel the pulse of the city.
Kano State stands as a key political player in the country, considering its huge number of votes, which makes it a swing state, and the fact that it boasts of the highest population in the country. The NNPP wrestled power from the APC in 2023 after Governor Abdullahi Ganduje's tenure of 2 terms, a devastating blow to the ruling party. Ironically, he was one of the APC leaders to receive him into the APC family following his shocking defection to the party. Shocking because not only has Governor Abba Yusuf been a staunch member of the party, but also a loyalist to the founder of the Kwankwasia movement and former governor of Kano State, Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso, who is said to be disgruntled with this latest development.
Honestly speaking, I have to resign as early as possible, like I did on Sunday, because the governor, Abba Kabir Yusuf, who won the election under the banner of NNPP Kwankwasia, has derailed from the system that brought him to power.
Not everyone followed the governor to the APC. The Commissioner for Youth and Sports, Mustafa Kwankwaso, as well as his counterpart in the Ministry for Internal Security and Special Services, Ibrahim Umar, have resigned their appointments alongside several others. Those loyal to the governor insist that the political realignment is for better development of the state and continuity of the governor in the 2027 elections.
Politics is not just about political parties. It is about people, about conscience, and about destiny. So the decision taken was for the best interest of the Kano people. It's not just to serve political interest of His Excellency. His concern is the people.
Residents also differ in opinions to the realignment claims.
What we really need for the government is that we need concrete works. As the works start going on everywhere in the state, most of the work have already stopped. But we don't know what is going on. But finally, we have already confirmed some of the changes towards the government. And we pray so some of these things that are going on around the states, and we pray so that these things have to continue.
They said betrayal is part of political characteristics, which is totally opposition of that. In my belief is Engineer Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso is their godfather. He even looking at him as his own son, not a political son. But doing that to him, I don't think it's the interest of Kano's people.
A political analyst describes the defection as fights for political survival.
Defection, if we can call it in Kano, is not about any principles or any consideration of the electorate or the state. To me, I think it's a question of political survival, the question of political interest. You know, if one looks at the intricacies behind the thing, one will see that it is not surprising if Abba jumped the ship and moved into another party.
In the meantime, residents are watching closely and hoping that party affiliations do not affect the governor's performance in terms of developmental projects ongoing in the state. From Kano Commercial City, Nanchin Vincent, Channels Television News.
Well, thank you indeed, Nanchi, for bringing us up to speed. Let's get to dissect this topic this hour. Nasir Suleiman Chambers, the national president of the United Nigeria Youth Congress, as well as a public affairs analyst. He joins us live on the program from our Abuja studios. Thank you indeed for agreeing to talk to us here on the program. Paint a picture or perhaps put a description to what this defection exactly signifies. Chamber, is this a fight for political survival? Is this a betrayal of trust, or public trust, I should say? Is this about the people of Kano State? What exactly is this to you?
All right. Thank you very much, and good afternoon, Nigerians. For a clear analysis to understand, you know, what the dynamics or the problems or what is happening currently, I would love to speak on three different perspectives. First of all, I, as a neutral body, as a Nigerian who loves Nigeria, who has been advocating for a better Nigeria, for our democracy to be, you know, a better democracy than what we are today. Secondly, I will be speaking as in the perspective of the former governor of Kano State, Dr. Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso. And thirdly, I will be speaking on the perspective of the governor himself. All right, firstly, as a Nigerian who truly believes in Nigeria and the democratic system, you know, I'm someone who has been fighting for a better democracy in Nigeria. In the issue of neutrality, I, as a real Nigerian, I will also speak on 3 issues on the issue of neutrality for a better analyzing and understanding. First of all, we have to understand in our democratic system in Nigeria today, there is lack of political ideology, first of all. Secondly, there is lack of competency. Thirdly, there is issue of Godfatherism. So now, in the issue of political ideology, everyone knows that in our political system today in Nigeria, our political parties have no ideology. And individuals who are party men are not in any way aligned by any political ideology or any manifest by any ideology. So this is why we are witnessing these issues of cross-carpeting from one political party to another. And this is never good and can never be good for our democratic system. Secondly, the issue of lack of competency. Most of the candidates, or let's say the political holders that we have, you'll find out that most of them are not even competent. They don't even have the blueprint of what they are even aspiring to contest for. So that means whenever they are in those positions, they will just begin more of trial and error. And that is why we face these challenges every day. So the last one, which also brings us to the last one, issue of political godfatherism. There is no way in Nigeria today, when we have been experiencing it from one state to another. We have seen it in Rivers, we have seen it in Kaduna, we have seen it in Kano, and which is the latest one in Kano, and almost all the states in Nigeria today. The issue of this godfatherism is drawing our democracy back, because most of the governors that we see today, all of them, after maybe experiencing the good side of being a governor, all the good things that comes with it, so they wouldn't want to just go after their 8 years tenure. And so they will always want to put their little stooge, people who they can be able to control. And in most cases, you'll find out that those people who they are putting in that positions, most of them, they are not competent at all. They are just, some of the lowest, I'm sorry to say, people with the lowest IQ, let's say, within their midst at that very time. So now, going back to the issue of the Konkoso side, the Konkoso's perspective, all these things that I explained will also create a very clear understanding where Konkoso is coming from. Konkoso, as someone who, was a governor for 8 years, who has been fighting to continue being, political relevance. So that is why, he brought up Kadir Yusuf in 2019, someone who has never had any experience in any political...
Yes.
Okay, anyways, go on.
Yeah, so I
hope to finish for a better understanding.
We have to see how we can manage our time. I mean, we understand the Kwankwasia movements and the ideology behind it. But let's perhaps stay with the issues here. I'm wondering in my mind perhaps what exactly could have played out between the political godfather and political godson. I mean, I like the fact that you've highlighted the fact that this has played out across board in Rivers State, Sim and Wike, in Kaduna State, Ubasani, and of course Nasir El-Rufai, and now we see it in Kano State as well. I mean, this has been the tragedy. Remember here in Lagos some time ago, Akinwumi Ambode, and now President Bola Tinubu. So, but if we take a look at what has played out now in Kano State, what exactly do you think are the specifics in terms of the political or policy disagreements between the present governor and his godfather?
All right, it still comes to what I'm trying to explain on a very quick way. In the Konkoso side, you have to understand that all what he has done from 2019 to 2023 is trying to bring someone who is very loyal to him, someone who he can be able to control. We have seen what happened between him and his predecessor, that is Governor Abdullahi Umar Ganduje. And so he was trying to see in his people who is the person that he can trust the most, who is the person that he can control. So that is why he even brought Abba Gida or Abba Kabir Yusuf from the first place. So the issue of Abba, sometimes people don't understand the issue of governance. It is when you are in governance, you'll be able to understand all the power that you wield. So that is why it is very easy for someone to change, because maybe of the situation or what he found out himself. Maybe from one point to another, he will continue to listen to what the former governor, his boss, Rabi Musa Konkoso, will keep telling him. the directives and everything. But along the line, it will never hold because the will of power is different from, it has a lot of its own, issues. And from deep inside, I have friends who are maybe, who are nephews to the former governor, Rabi Musa Konkoso, which in most cases, most of their challenge, most of their, what they normally speak about this governor is because they think that the governor have sidelined them. The governor has, all the issue of, let's say, whether contract or everything, the governor have sidelined them and he's doing, they are making allegations that he is putting his son
I wonder,
on almost all the cases.
I wonder perhaps if you're buying, I wonder, just a moment, Mr. Chamber, I wonder perhaps if you're buying into the argument, because if we go by what has played out in the last 48 hours after that official defection, the fact that 4 commissioners have now resigned from the Abba Yusuf administration, and that is minus some other political appointees as well. So we are wondering perhaps if we'll see more resignations in the coming days. So it does perhaps tells that maybe the former governor, Rabi Kwankwaso, had sort of some of his loyalists in the cabinet of this particular administration. So are you buying into that argument?
Yes, whether we like it or not, the former governor, this issue of defection really hurts him because whether we like it or not, majority of his people of the Konkosia movement have left him to join the governor. And in the issue of the current governor, Abba Kabir Yusuf, I remember somewhere in 2023 when I had an appointment to meet the governor at that time. So he directed my appointment to meet the chief of staff. The chief of staff, when I was about to see him, I wasn't able to see him because of the nature of how the chief of staff is. So what I'm trying to say in short is, those people from the beginning of this government will understand that the people who have the appointment are mostly the loyalists of Konkosu. So the governor is in no way or in any way, enjoying the real governance because most of them don't even listen to him. There's what they say, maybe believe in that time that most of his commissioners or maybe the political appointees, whenever something happens within the government, they take it directly to the Konkoso. So Konkoso, from the beginning of the government, he's the one maybe trying to, to control the government, which I told you from the beginning, this is not sustainable. When someone takes the wheel of power, for someone to be controlling him out of power, that is not sustainable. And this issue of crisis or fighting, it will continue to happen as long as the predecessors or godfathers will not in any way mind their business and allow someone to govern.
Yeah. So my next question to you is, from what the picture you've painted is the fact that this in no way is about the people. These defections have never been about the people. It has always been about power plays, influence. So why then do governors always say that we consulted the people and then the people are with us on this, when in the true sense of it, it's never been about the average Nigerian or Nigerians, as it were?
Yes, everyone should understand that this is never for the interest of the people. It is never for the people. It's just about politics. It's just about individual interests. And I keep saying it. None of these politicians that we are seeing today in any way, whether in the opposition, whether in the ruling party, are doing it for the sake of the people. It's all about individual interest. It's all about relevance. It's all about power grabbing. Whoever is thinking maybe opposition can one day come and, at the current political situation that we are in, that opposition, whether ADC, will come and, and bring solution to Nigerian problem, or they are even fighting for the Nigerian problem. Well, Nigeria should be wiser than this. I should understand that it is never about the people. It is always about their individual. So Nigerians should not fall for any politician. Nigerians should not fall for any political party. The parties that we have that they don't even have ideology. We should not fall for that. It's not about Nigeria. It's about individual interest.
All right. So let's begin to wind down on this conversation, Mr. Chamber, now. I mean, you've said it's clearly not about ideologies, but some people keep keep sort of commending the Kwankwasia movement and the ideologies that he represents, how, especially in terms of education, security, and the economy of Kano State and all of that. So, do you think that defections in any way sort of weaken Nigeria's party system and our ideologies by the day? And then, I know you're not a lawyer, but I'm also wondering if you think that perhaps we need to revisit the issues of laws, political laws or laws around defection, so that we know that if you're in APC, it has to be APC for life. If you're in PDP, it has to be PDP for life. If you're in NNPC, it has to be NNPP for life.
All right. Whether we like Konkoso or we don't like Konkoso, whether we like his what he has been doing or what he hasn't been doing, in 2023 he has shown that where it is not about big political parties. He can create a political party and win election, which I commend him very well for what he has done in 2019 and 2023. And this is what I always hope, that our politicians should have the confidence to face their enemies or to face their political enemies to contest for, for positions. And then the issue of ideology in Nigeria, the issue of our democratic system, we should understand the issue of lack of this ideology is what brought us to this very position this very place that we are. If we look at countries like America, countries that succeeded in real democracy, you'll find out that political parties align with the ideology, or individual people align with the ideology of political parties. Unfortunately, in Nigeria, it is never the same today. We have witnessed cross-carpeting from party A to party B, all for the selfish interest, and not for the interest of Nigeria. And that is why under the United Nigerians Congress, what we are trying to do for a very long time is trying to see how we can bring the best and ablest of our people with fortified characters from local, federal, and state levels. It doesn't matter whether political party you are, because we know that all the political parties are the same. All right. Bring APC, bring PDP, bring ADC, they are all the same set of people. And,
we have to go now.
Looking at them,
yes, we have to go now. Maybe in 30 seconds or less, as we round off our conversation with you now. We have an election just ahead of us, barely 1 year to go now to the general election. So I'm wondering perhaps what you think would play out in 2027. And I'm concerned because Kano State is a very, very sensitive state, very, very sensitive. So if you look at issues around political stability, what do you think would play out in the coming months, 12 months to the elections?
All right, this is a topic that requires a lot of time, but I'll do it very quickly. 2027 will be a politics that probably we have never seen before. Because looking at APC, the current president, he has a huge challenge. In fact, he's even in a state of worry at the very moment. First of all, we have heard the rumors of issue of vice president, him changing the vice president. If we look at the issue of the vice president himself, if he removes, there is no calculation in everywhere that is, that is in the interest or that is that would be the benefit of this very president, except one, which may be election rigging. But if we look at the issue of vice president, we will understand that him removing a vice president, it will be a very huge miscalculation. And then at the issue of Muslim ticket again, him going into Muslim ticket again, it will maybe pave a way for what happened in 2023 by allowing if you look at the dynamics of the politics in the regional politics that we have, maybe in 2023 when Peter Obi used that advantage, on the issue of Christian, or Muslim ticket that got Peter Obi to where he is. So him removing the vice president is more of, if he brings, let's say, another Christian, you'll find out that in the middle belt or in the Christian areas in the north in particular, they will directly go for the president. But along the line, Peter Obi will not get the votes that he got, in 2023 because of that is how the politics, played. When we look at the issue of the opposition, the ADC, there's a huge crisis in the issue of ADC. Who are you going to vote? Is it Rotimi Amechi who is going to clinch the ticket? Is it Atiku Abubakar? Is it Rotimi Amechi? will it be a combination of Peter Obi or Atiku Abubakar, which that will be a very dangerous move. A combination of Atiku Abubakar with Peter Obi will be a very dangerous move for the opposition because they know it. I have friends maybe within the government.
And there are speculations, Mr. Chamber, that perhaps Mr. Kwankwaso may likely be defecting to the ADC. There are speculations.
Yes, which that will also be a very dangerous move for against APC, because whether we like it or not, Kwankwaso, if you look at the population in Kano, he has a very huge numbers in Kano State. People who are diehard, who are very loyal to him. So him joining, let's assume based on the speculation of him, let's say, and Peter Obi, it will also be a very dangerous move. But we
have to leave it here.
What the APC did.
Yes, we're totally out of time.
It's all the timing what the APC do.
We are totally out of time. We'll keep monitoring this space and see how events will unfold. It's a space that a lot will be playing out in the next 12 months as we begin to count down to the 2027 election. But most thank you indeed. Nasir Suleiman Chamber is the national president. United Nigeria Youth Congress is also a public affairs analyst live for us from our Abuja studios. Thank you indeed for your time on the program.
Thank you very much.
Well, you're looking at images of major players in Nigeria's indigenous manufacturing sector who are raising serious concerns over the actions of the National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC. They're also calling on President Bola Tinubu to urgently intervene, warning that recent regulatory actions could threaten jobs, investments, and the nation's economic recovery. While staging a protest earlier at NAFDAC's headquarters in Lagos yesterday, stakeholders comprising local manufacturers, workers, distributors, concerned citizens, distillers are accusing the current leadership of the agency of policies they say favor multinational corporations at the expense of local businesses in Nigeria.
You know what it means to lose your job in this economy. So Professor Adeyeye has sacked us from our job, and the companies are being closed down. So we will watch and see this happening. Because, of course, if you're out of job, your children are out of school too.
Well, we hear there's a high-level meeting ongoing now between DBAN and NAFDAC. Well, that does it for us here on Lunchtime Politics this hour. Thanks indeed for watching. On behalf of the production team and everyone here, I am Kelly Giga, and you have just been served on Lunchtime Politics. Good afternoon.